Hello YouTube, it is Niina. You're watching Fairy Chamber channel. I've been sick all week, so my voice is lower than usual. I try to speak very close to the screen so you can hear me. Anyway, this video is going to be about the reindeers and reindeers in the Sapmi mythology and the culture as well. I'm almost finished with my series on Finnish animals in Finnish mythology. It's about the reindeers in the Sapmi mythology. So those of you who are new to my channel, I'm from Finland. I actually live in Wales, where I study in the UK, and I have Sami ancestry from Finland and from Sweden, and majority of the Finns are descendants of the Sami people. The Sami people are the native inhabitants of Lapland, and Lapland in Sweden, in Finland, in Norway and Russia. So it's a very wide area, and among Sami people there are different tribes of Sami people. There is different languages, different Sami languages, and Finnish language itself, it's based on, well, Proto-Finnish language is based on Proto-Sami language. And there's like Northern Sami, there's Koltta Sami, there is Inari Sami, there's different types of Sami languages, and there's different types of Sami people, Sami tribes. For example, in Norway they have Sami people that are, excuse me, their lifestyles is more around fishing, and then there are Sami people there that are more for reindeer herding and so on. So it's there's many different types of Sami, and of course in these modern times, many of the Sami people, they have mixed together with the major population. For example, one of my Finnish friends, she's a Sami and she's also a Finnish and she lives more south, but her home is there in the north. But yeah, it depends on a person, and of course the whole Sami lifestyle has changed tragically, especially within past decades. But I think so has the Finnish life changed tragically. Not tragically, what's the word? It's not tragically, fucking English. Dramatically. Yay, I found it. One of the essence in the Sami cultures is the reindeer herding, and I think Sami people overall are famous for being the reindeer people. So it makes sense that reindeer is one of the Sami's totem animals. They have several totem animals, including bear and the swan. They're also Finnish totemic animals. But let's focus on the reindeer. What I have done my research, first of the inhabitants of Finland, they were some kind of Sami tribes thousands and thousands of years ago, but they did not really straight away started to herd the reindeers. They were most of all hunters and fishermen. So the reindeer business started around 500 AC or something like that, and it started from the fact that Sami people started to tame the white deer, the reindeer, and this started this kind of companionship. And this was before this kind of economical business trading things that we nowadays have, but this was more having a reindeer more as pets, and I guess pet companions, something like that. And earliest written documents from people owning reindeers, they come from 900th century, and slowly their lifestyle started to go more and more entwined with the reindeer. the Sami people, they got milk from the reindeer, they got flesh from the reindeer and ate it. They got their clothes from the reindeer first. Reindeers helped them to pull heavy things like horses. Well, you cannot ride with the reindeer, so I think there was a scene like that in Frozen. Not gonna happen. Anyway, so reindeer became more and more important animal, and in 16th century there was this major lifestyle change where when in the past the reindeer herding, it happened in one place, that people collected certain amount of reindeers to one place and they had their little hut there, or their tents or something like that, and that's where they kept their reindeers. And human beings, they started the Sami people, they started to measure their wealth with their reindeers. But there came this major change in the 16th century, that Sami people started to live more in terms with the reindeer, to follow the natural cycle of the reindeer. For example, when the reindeers started mating, they started to follow the reindeers to their mating places. And when the reindeers gave birth, the reindeers went to a certain place to give birth. And Sami lifestyle became more a nomadic lifestyle, and they started to follow the reindeers. One reason for this major change was the meat industry. Can you believe that? It is that because those places where the Sami family had lived for maybe centuries, they started to what's the word? The food ran out. They had fished the lakes and ate the other animals. So then they realized that when they followed the natural cycle of the reindeers produce more and live better and longer life perhaps. So that was the main reason to start the nomadic lifestyle, the reindeer meat. I'm a vegetarian these days, personally. But when I was younger, I did eat reindeer meat. It's quite expensive and it's very salty. But if you think about it, it's that kind of food. You can survive it when it's very, very cold, and in Lapland it gets cold. Anyway, this kind of nomadic lifestyle, it does not exist anymore in Lapland of Scandinavia, at least. Among some Siberian tribes, Eurasian, Finno-Ugrian tribes in Russia and well, in Siberia basically, near the, how do you call that sea that's right on the top? Ice Sea? I don't know the name of it. Anyway, around Arctic Sea, I think that's the name of it. Anyway, near the Arctic Sea, they still have these tribes that follow this nomadic lifestyle, and their reindeers, they go from one place to another. I personally think, even though it is about reindeer meat, it is much more animal friendly approach to take care of reindeers. But we don't have this anymore in Scandinavian countries. It stopped around 18th and 19th century because of political issues and I'm sorry, checking my notes here, because of drawing the national borders. For example, the borders between Norway and Sweden, and then Finland got independent in 1917. So they drew these lines between the countries, and also between Finland and Russia, and and that was the end of nomadic lifestyle, because they started to build these fences, and people had to keep their reindeers in one place after that. And of course, in many ways it has been very harmful for Sami people as well. which is quite sad, because majority of the Finns, for example, are descendants of the Sami people. And nowadays there is electric fences when there is the border, so reindeers cannot cross the national borders. And Sami people, they have the, I had to check the English word from my phone, it's they have the snowmobiles. So it makes easier to watch over the reindeers, I guess. So that is the current situation of reindeer herding, or the history of the reindeer herding in Lapland. So let's go to mythology, which I think it's always the most interesting part. There is this legend that in Sami folklore, when there is a white reindeer, an albino reindeer, that is the most magical reindeer, and depending of course that what is the Sami tribe where you come from, they all have a bit different legends. So the white reindeer is still very common, especially with those Sami tribes that have reindeer culture. So it is believed that the white reindeer is the leader of all the reindeers, and if a man would catch a white reindeer, that would be a very good omen and bring much good luck for the reindeer herder. This totemic belief for this kind of reindeer spirit, it has been a motive to take good care of the reindeers. And in many ways, like in Finland, and in ancient Finland example, when they killed a bear, the hunter would pray for the bear spirit to find good place in the universe. Same way it was with the Sami people when they hunted the reindeers. They prayed for the spirit of the great reindeer to take care of those reindeers that were killed, or their spirits. Well, this totem belief, I doubt that it exists among modern reindeer herders and their electric fences and snowmobiles. I guess it doesn't exist among Finnish hunters either. But that's the way our whole lifestyle has changed. The Sami people, they also sacrificed reindeers for the great reindeer spirit. And usually the reindeer that was sacrificed, it was the best reindeer of the herd. And most handsome reindeer. And of course this is not a habit that is practiced these days. But it's one of the oldest traditions is to sacrifice is to take the reindeer horns, the antlers, and hang them to the seita. And seita, it's like a sacred grove or worshipping place of the Sami people. In Finland we call them hiisi. So the seita, it was usually maybe like tree formation or stone formation, very big stones. So they would put the antlers on the top of it, and then they would go there and pray for the great reindeer to give them luck with reindeers. It was believed that the reindeer spirit, it might have been a white reindeer, or this kind of hybrid between a man and a reindeer. So it would be this kind of reindeer hunter. In many cultures in history, there are these god characters that have antlers. Like in Celtic mythology, there is Cernunnos, and Pan in Greek mythology, he often have some kind of horns, so it's not unusual. Reindeer, they had very significant meaning for people's lives because basically their whole life was around reindeers. They lived with the flesh of the reindeer and drank the milk of the reindeer, and all their clothes were made from reindeer fur. But of course, the more close we come to the modern day, more it goes to the reindeer flesh, and some people become more modernized and get other influences. Still, all the reindeer parts, they were believed to have very magical qualities, like skin had magical qualities, the fur had magical qualities, the milk of the reindeer, magical qualities, and especially the horns, they were sacred. They were up to the sky, so they were very, very important part of the reindeer. And some people, they have very special connection with the bones, not just bones of the reindeers, but bones of humans and, well, all the animals. And the nature connection of the Sami people, that is very special. And ancient Finns, we also had very similar connection, like I talked about the releasing the bear spirit after you have killed the bear, and having that kind of what's the word? Forgetting English today. Respect, but also like gratitude for the animal, or for nature, for giving the animal. Like that is something we lack in today's society, but that is the way things were in the past, in the totemic shamanistic belief system. And of course many shamans also had horns in their heads, or when they dressed up as an animal, or trying to connect with the spirits. If one wanted to connect with the great reindeer, the shaman would probably dress up into reindeer fur and put the antlers to their head and performing a ritual. Sami children, they were taught when they were little that if they would find a dead animal or the bones of the dead animal, they would need to collect all the bones together and build the animal from the bones and then bury it, so that when the skeleton is complete, the animal would continue its life in the afterlife. So this is why people, they were buried there, all the parts there, and same with the reindeers. Like it was bad luck to bury a reindeer if it wasn't completely built, the skeleton, unless if you took the horns, then you would use all the other parts to some other purposes. It was believed that reindeers would continue their journey, their life in some other form, in some other space. Some of the Sami tribes believed that they were descendants of the reindeer. This would lead that in Sapmi mythology there are lots of stories of were reindeers and people who could turn themselves magically to reindeers. In what is now Russia, in Kola Peninsula, it's an area around Murmansk, there are Kola Samis, and Kola Samis, they have ancestor who was this kind of reindeer shapeshifter man. His name was Miandash. I don't know if I pronounced it right. But Miandash, he was almost like a godlike figure for them, the mystical ancestor. And Miandash, his mother was a shaman, a female shaman. It's quite interesting actually that in Sami people in Scandinavian countries, they're all men. But then in Siberia and in Russia, the Sami people there, they can be female as well. It's good. So Miandash, his mother was a shaman and a Sami witch, a cunning woman, and she had ability to transform herself into a reindeer. So Mianda's father was a real reindeer and mother was a human woman transformed into a reindeer. So that created Miandash. And Miandash, when he was inside her home tent that was made from reindeer fur and built from reindeer bones, inside the tent he was a human, but then when he went outside he would transform into a wild reindeer, and he could not be human outside, he could only be human inside in the tent. And I think it's very interesting myth. And the story goes that around the tent there was this river made from blood. But I think it tells about this kind of idea that reindeers had their own spiritual place where they would go in the afterlife. So in a way they would live in this kind of another reindeer dimension, separate from the human world. But Miandash, anyway, he got very lonely in the tent, and he said to his mother that he would like to have a human spouse. Mother was not very pleased, but she loved her son, so she went to the earth and found him a human spouse. There are several versions what happened after that. One is that they got lots of kids, and all the kids, when they would go outside, they would all become reindeers. There's one story that the woman, the wife of Miandash, she would also become a reindeer. And there's also one story that is quite totemistic in my belief, that Miandash, he would at one point become so much in touch with his inner reindeer that he did not return to the tent. He would run wild in the hills, in the tundra, and the kids would follow him. So the wife, she would sacrifice a reindeer for the great reindeer spirit, and at the time the spirit of Miandash would go inside the woman, and she was sitting on a deer fur, and half of the reindeer would go inside her as well. So she would embody the spirit of her husband. And in a way this is a myth about reincarnation. So the reindeer ancestry would continue in the wife, and when she would remarry a human, the line would continue. So this is what the Kuala Sami people believed, that was their ancestry. Still in the 20s and in the 30s, the Kuala Sami people, they hold this myth in very great value, but I think nowadays they see more as a fable. But in totemic belief systems and in cultures, this kind of story where there is a animal that becomes like a clan symbol, it usually starts from this kind of story where there is animal father or mother of the tribe. It can be an otter or a crow or bobcat or wolf, or, you can find these in many cultures, in Native American cultures, in Celtic cultures, in Finnish mythology, in Slavic mythology. It's universal, but that is very common in totemic belief systems. Quite often the animal also represents the way of life of the certain tribe. And for example, otter could be a tribe that would live near water. Reindeer would relate to earth. If you have a bird totem more about air, maybe hunting birds or something, or looking for the stars. And it's elemental thing as well. this motive of any kind of idea of becoming a werewolf or werebear or a werebird or whatever, shapeshifter. I think it comes from this kind of primal idea that humans have, looking for the sky and wishing I could be a bird or any other animal. Be free of human world and become totally free. So I think that is the main motive in the reindeer story, that watching the reindeer running on the hills, there would be that kind of certain freedom. If someone wants to see a absolutely the best Finnish horror film, this in my opinion, White Reindeer, it's really, really good. It's an old black and white film from 1952, and it tells about this Sami woman who is also a witch, and she cast this spell to make all the men want her, or well, she goes to the shaman to ask some help in that area, and then she becomes a reindeer. So I'm not going to spoil the plot for you. I'll put a link to the description box if someone wants to see the trailer. I think you can find it on YouTube. Anyway, it's a really creepy film, even though it's black and white. And what there is in my camera? Oh, there's a fly. Go away. Oh, it's a really good film, but I think it's a bit silly because she's really like reindeer. She gets fangs and all. It's funny, but creepy and funny. So if someone wants to watch a quality Finnish horror film, I recommend that. Oh, there are so many bad Finnish horror films that I've seen, so I will stick with the classics. Okay, these were some of the Sami stories in about reindeer. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you on my next video. Bye! Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you are interested to learn more about animal myths and stories from the north, I have a course called People of the Bear, which is all about the bear worship in ancient Finland and different parts of the world. There are stories about bear as a celestial being and the way the bear was honored as a sacred ancestor. If you're interested, head over to my website fairychamber.com. Link is also in the description. Have a great day and make good choices. Bye!